Hey guys, welcome back to Music Talk with John. Hope you're doing well. We're going to talk a little Stevie Ray Vaughan here. I decided to take a look at his career. I have most of his albums and some live stuff. I like everything I have. It's just one of those artists I need to listen to more to really appreciate him and to really know the music. Like, you could name a song and I probably couldn't tell you which album at this point, but one day I will, because he's just somebody that needs to be remembered. He's just as important, I think, as Hendrix as far as his guitar works. Anyway, I'm out here on the tracks. There's some people on the trail. I didn't want to bother them, so over here by the tracks talking about Stevie Ray Vaughan. So what I'm gonna do is the studio albums only, no live albums. And there were, I think they count 6 total studio albums from him. I think that was the number. Yeah, 6 studio, but I'm not doing the last one that they consider a studio album, which is The Sky Is Crying, because that was more of a comp, and that went like from, where'd it go, from the 80s? Well, that's where he was in the 80s, but it was a comp of his stuff, yeah, between like 84 and 89. And I think, yeah, he passed away in 1990. So I didn't count that one. I wanted true studio albums, but I did count the 5th one there with his brother as an album, because they did work on it. It was just released after he'd passed away, but it was a project he was working on with his brother, and it was intended for release, so I counted that one. So we'll be focusing on those 5 albums right now. And this is what I have for you. So his first album, Texas Flood, came out in '83. And when was he because he worked with Bowie at some point right there in the early 80s with Let's Dance, and I can't remember if that was like 82 or something, but he was all over that album. Some good guitar work on there. But we Texas Flood, let's see, had songs like Pride and Joy, Texas Flood, Love Struck, I'm Crying, Lenny, so a couple instrumentals, 3 instrumentals on that one. So and it consisted of, and this is what I like in what I'm appreciating a little bit more. That's why I like doing these videos, because you find out a little bit more about the artist, and you notice things about where they were going as an artist. But this one only had 3 members on it playing on the whole album. So you had Stevie Ray Vaughan on guitar and vocals, and then the rest of Double Trouble were Tommy Shannon on bass guitar and Chris Layton on drums. So it's just those 3 guys. And what's cool is as we get into these next albums, you'll see what he was doing as far as adding to his music, giving it more dynamic, you know, like Hendrix was doing. He wanted to grow, he wanted to do different things. So it's pretty cool what I noticed here. So yeah, if you listen to the guitar solo on Texas Flood, that pretty much tells you everything you need to know about. I put everything you need to know about Stevie Ray Vaughan and what a amazing guitar player he is, or was. He covers Howlin' Wolf's Tell Me on here. Mary Had a Little Lamb was a Buddy Guy song. Let's see, it's a blues-based albums with 80s production. I would have liked to hear some Stevie Ray Vaughan without the kind of like the echo, the reverb kind of thing on it. I mean, I can still enjoy it. It's not like it takes away from it, but I like to kind of distance it from the 80s a little bit. It's the only thing I noticed. But it's filled with guitar licks, of course. I mean, why wouldn't you if you had his talent? Yeah, 3 instrumentals and just basic, straightforward guitar, bass, and drums music. So yeah, good album. Good one to start your career off, I'd say. Then we get into Couldn't Stand the Weather, that came out in 1984. Highlights on here for me were Couldn't Stand the Weather and Tin Pan Alley, which is, yeah, I really like Tin Pan Alley. And here again you have just the 3 guys, but it tells you how tight 3 guys can be. Again, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Tommy Shannon, and Chris Layton. Oh no, okay, sorry. Then you have some additional personnel. So this one he did bring in some more. So his brother comes in on 2 songs, Jimmy Vaughan. Then you have Fran Christina, and he plays drums on Stang Swang. So I know that is a different type of style music, so I don't know if he brought a different drummer in for that. I'm not sure. And then he brought in a saxophone, which is cool, on just that one song, on Stang's Swang also. So he's starting to kind of go, okay, what am I going to do here? So for the most part, it's just those 3 guys, but a couple songs he brings in his brother, tries a different drummer, brings in a saxophone. So it's pretty cool. Let's see. So this album to me is a mix of R&B, blues, and jazz. And I could swear there's an organ on the things that I used to do, but I couldn't find a credit for organ. I could swear I hear organ in there, but I didn't see anything where there was organ on that, and there's no credit of organ being on this album, so I don't know. Yeah, I enjoy his version of Voodoo Child on here, but of course, you know, you got to go with Jimmy on that song. If you had to, if you know, put a gun to my head, I'd have to say Jimi Hendrix. But yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan does it justice. It's not like he just did a version, it doesn't matter, but you know, Voodoo Child's Jimi Hendrix. I mean, it's in his DNA, you know. So yeah, too much reverb, especially on the drums again. And yeah, Stang's Swang, yeah, that's why it's different. It's like a jazz number, and I wonder if he would have gone more in that direction if he had lived longer. So it starts kind of, and this is only his 2nd album, but it kind of makes you start questioning those things, where he would have gone. So, Soul to Soul, 1985. Highlights for here are Change It and Life Without You. And this has, so you got Stevie on guitar and vocals, Tommy Shannon again on bass and guitar, Chris Layton on drums, and now you have Reese Wins coming in with keyboards and vocals, and now we're opening up. This is where it's, okay, we're changing some sound in here. We're gonna give it some more dynamics, and it's really cool. Then you had sax part, you had Joe Sublette, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, on the song Empty Arms, or I'm sorry, sax on Looking Out the Window and Look at Little Sister. So yeah, and that sax in there, you've got your organ, like keyboards, filling things out, but it's still well produced. You can hear everything nice and clear. Yeah, you can see where he's growing here, adding a little bit more each time he goes along. So my notes here, Stevie plays drums on Empty Arms, played drums on one of these. The addition of Reese Wins brings his work to another level, like I just said. It does have much less reverb on this album than the other 2. And his guitar is on another level, especially on Come On Part 3. So that was a highlight for me, Come On Part 3, to just, where he's just killing it on guitar. So, all right. Then you have Instep, 1989. And this has probably his biggest, would you say it's the biggest hit, most well-known hit, The House Is Rockin'? House Is a Rockin'. Seems like everybody knows that song, right? And then Crossfire was a highlight, Leave My Girl Alone, and Riviera Paradise. That's a really nice song. Now on this one, you have Stevie, Tommy, Chris again, then and also with Reese. So now he's part of Double Trouble for another album. And additional personnel, you have the Texacali Horns on Crossfire and Love Me Darlin', which is Joe Sublette, the other guy from the other album, right? He was on the other album, yep. Playing sax, and Daryl Leonard on trumpet. So now you're getting that brass in there. So, and I you know, enjoying jazz like I do now, and realizing what I do like in jazz, which is like the brass instruments, not necessarily piano, guitar. I like that brass sound. I like that nice, sharp brass sound to accent a song. And it's probably where the Billy Joel background, he used a lot of saxophones and all kinds of instruments like that throughout his music, and maybe it stems from there, enjoying that. But I do like a nice punch and accenting with brass instruments, and this album has that. So the title Instep can be seen as referring to Vaughan's newfound sobriety. So he had some issues there, following the years of drug and alcohol use that eventually led Vaughan into rehab. It was also Vaughan's final album with Double Trouble, and the last album to be released during his lifetime. So that's something to think about. So that was, yeah, that would be the last album that he would see released. All right, so 1990 Family Style. This is him and his brother coming together, two good guitarists. Let's see, the highlights here are TikTok and Telephone Song for me. And yeah, one thing I noticed, so you have two really good guitar players here, and it felt like they played it safe. Like, I mean, they kind of go back and forth a little bit on the album, but I don't know, you would think, seems like they went more for radio friendly on this album or something, but you would think they would kind of challenge each other a little bit more on this album. It felt like a lighter album compared to his other ones to me. So I don't know what you think about it. Nothing relatable in the lyrics or subject of the songs, so that starts to wear on me a little bit. If they're just like, okay, yeah, it's a nice song, it sounds good, but nothing's catching me, you know, that's a little bit of a problem. TikTok reminds me of Motown. Yes, that sounds like a Motown song to me, like a nice like rhythm and blues kind of song, you know, poppy kind of at the same time. Ba-Boom, Mama Said sounds like a weird hip-hop rap song. Is that what yeah, that one I didn't like. Yeah, I wasn't really thrilled with that song. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. Not much thought seems to have been put intentionally on the album. Looks like they just kind of put it together, and you could hear they're doing some things on there, but it seems to me like it was trying to be, they're trying to make it sort of a, like I said, kind of make it radio friendly, something there that just was missing that Stevie Ray Vaughan feel as his other albums had. So, you know, it's nice that they were able to, you know, when you think about it as a whole, though, it's nice that they were able to do this album as brothers, you know, before get it recorded before Stevie passed. So, and the album did come out a little while after he had passed away. So kind of bittersweet at the same time that they were able to kind of come together and do that. You know, but Stevie never got to see the results of the album. Just amazing guitar player, makes you miss him. I have friends that are like big into him, and it was pretty devastating to them when he passed. And you know, I kind of wish I'd been more into him at the time. It just wasn't what I was listening to, but I'm getting into it now. And like I said, might take a look at the live albums, maybe do a review on those later, but that live stuff really captures some of that energy. So, but there's a lot of energy in these studio albums too. It's sometimes when I was listening to these, I would close my eyes and just kind of think about what it'd been like in that room while this guy's just like picturing him just jamming this stuff out. You know, the energy in that room must have been amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and rank them. This is just my personal taste, you know, has nothing to do with, you know, I'm not the world's top rater going, hey, this is the album order, you need to listen to them and like them in. This is just how I feel, and this is how it goes. So let's see. So if you took a guess, which one do you think would be ranked the lowest? For me, just by talking about it, give you a second, talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, it's Family Style. It wasn't horrible, but it got like a B rating for me. There was just a lot of on it, and then some, like that one song, what I say, Mama Said or whatever. I'm just like, no, not feeling that. What was it? Yeah, Ba-Boom, Mama Said. No, just wasn't feeling that at all. So that's that comes in at number 5, right? 1, 2, 3, yeah, 5. Number 4 is Soul to Soul from 1985. It did get all the rest here, they got like a A+ rating. It's just my little point system to allow me to separate them. They're really pretty tight. Like there's a little distance between 4 and then what's going to be 2 and 3, which were almost neck and neck. So they're all pretty tight. So they, you know, you can tell I like the albums, and I bet you these are going to grow on me. If I redo this in about a year or something, I bet you it'll be different. So Soul to Soul, yeah, 1985 is number 4. Number 3 is Texas Flood, 1983. It pretty much got almost the same points as, which would be number 2, In Step, 1989. The difference is I gave Instep the number 2 spot because it had more of the stronger songs for me. So it had more songs that actually lifted up the score because they were so good. So I kind of looked at it that way. How do I look between these two songs as far as what do I think is better? Well, if you have more like solid songs, top rated, that actually help the point system that I use, I'm gonna give it that credit. So that's where that's the only difference really between those two. So Texas Flood 1983 is number 3, Instep is 1989, and Couldn't Stand the Weather came in at number 1, 1984. That was my biggest, that's the one I liked the most. And I might be a little more familiar with that one. The Sky is Crying, and that one I'm more familiar with, I've heard more, and then I'm listening to these other ones now, so that could have something to do with it. But anyway, that's what I have for you guys. Let me know about your Stevie Ray Vaughan experience, and hopefully I was fair to him here. Try to just be honest and about what I'm thinking about the music and things like that. And if you have a ranking, let me know. Put it in the comments below what you think. That's it, boys and girls. So until next time, hope you guys are enjoying your music, and you take care out there, all right? Bye.